Baldur's Gate 3 is finally out, and it is a smash hit. D&D mechanics and a beautiful world crafted by Larian Studios lead to tough and regrettable choices, absolutely gorgeous environments, and big brain strategic plays. This game is absolutely blowing up, and I for one am glad to see another AA studio create a wildly successful game that's focused on being a good game, as opposed to being a cosmetic fueled milk machine.
Kill yourself!
And no feature is more antithetical to skin selling than mods. Since Baldur's Gate 3 has been in early access for multiple years, there's less of a game of catch up in terms of mod development. And I want to show you some of the cool things you can tinker around with. First off, we'll get the utilities out of the way. You can use Vortex to install mods, but there's also a custom installer that many mod authors seem to encourage, so I'm going to use that. Like I said, some of the mods were made in early access, so to help with compatibility, you can install full release mod fixer. I haven't used mods without it, so I don't really know what it does, but keep in mind when I'm describing what mods do, I have it installed. Most retexture mods just require dumping their files in the game's data folder. Read every mod description, some of them are more complicated than others. Actually, this first mod's probably the most complicated one to install, so read. Baldur's Gate puts a heavy emphasis on the characters that accompany you in your camp, most of which can be taken with you as party members. But here's the problem. You can only take 4 characters with you at a time, meaning it's more than likely you won't have enough time to get to know many of them. This compounds once you decide upon certain party synergies you really like. I'm not super fond of Asterion as a character, and I'd love to have a different character in his place. But I can't live without the damage per turn his sneak attacks provide. Obviously you could just respec the person you want to use into the build you want, but it sort of weakens them from a character perspective, and there can definitely be some dissonance in how they speak, look, and play out. Karlach rogues rise up. Alternatively, you can install Party Limits Be Gone to chill with all the homies all at once. This can obviously make certain situations a bit sillier, and it butchers the difficulty, so I recommend bumping up the difficulty. But if Tactician isn't enough for you, there's a mod for that too. Tactician Plus has a ton of different easier and harder variations that allow for you to tailor the enemies to fit whatever type of playthrough you're going for. I played 5 hours on Tactician only to find out I had the party limit mod installed wrong, so I wish you luck. Another mod that pairs well with these is Hardcore Long Rest. This mod allows you to increase the amount of food required for a long rest. I use the double setting and I think it works pretty well. This genuinely changed the way I approach the game. In my opinion, money isn't particularly useful in this game except in specific circumstances. But with this mod and the increased difficulty, I found myself purchasing supplies to keep my guys fed, and I also found myself pickpocketing merchants for gold and stealing food items. This might not matter to you, but I personally found the resource management rewarding and immersive. Divinity Original Sin 2 allowed you to talk to a merchant and rob them with a different character, but anything that incentivizes behavior like that is interesting to me.
I want you to break into a place and steal some shit.
Especially if you get pushed. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're playing a morally good, non-thieving party. But you get put through a really tough fight, and because of the increased resting cost, you don't have enough food to get back your health and your spell slots and everything. Thinking about whether stealing is worth it is a lot more difficult when options are more limited. Or maybe you're in a town and you pickpocket a merchant, making the whole town get mad at you. Obviously, these are very specific examples, but my point is that getting squeezed on resources can lead to more interesting choices. And if you're going to make the game easier in one way, it might be worth considering making it difficult in a different way. But that's the fun part of modding. You can do it however you want.
And I said, you can do whatever you want forever.
Let's talk about something different. I want to read your mind for a moment. Let me guess, you spent the first hour of your gameplay making the coolest blue dragon non-binary fighter rogue multi-class possible, and I respect that. But if this character creator wasn't enough for you, I got some stuff to show you. Also, no, I won't be covering hung like a minotaur, big Fuda, totally lore accurate packages, dreams, angry inch, parenthesis, smaller, or better. Actually, quick side note, I actually found the most lore-friendly mod on the Nexus. The title is Tactician Armor Visuals. The mod description is as follows. In Tactician mode, monsters hit players more, making armor less effective. Why is that? Is the game cheating? Actually, the game is not cheating. The reason is, player armors have defense malfunctions, and this mod visually shows you those malfunctions. In fact, when you hear about bikini armor in games and movies, it's actually quite lore-friendly. They're just in the highest difficulty setting. So if anyone asks why you're running this mod, respond with, it increases immersion by directly showing why Tactician mode is harder. Smiley face. If you're all about getting immersed, I also recommend Minimap Remover. In my experience, the dots give away enemy locations too early, and even if they don't, then it's just annoying to get surprised by an encounter because you were looking at the map too hard. Regardless, I think focusing on the world around you is better than staring at a circle, especially since the mod replaces the map with a full screen map button, so it's not like you'll get lost. Now for something aesthetic, but not, you know. First off is Tav's hairstyles. Here's some pictures, but if you want more options for hair, this is definitely the mod you want. Zoomer break! You like Skyrim? Yeah, you like Skyrim. Oh yeah, Starfield's gonna be flawless. Yeah, Todd Howard, yeah! Jokes aside, these are cool. This mod adds war paint from Skyrim in the character creator. On a similar note, anime and subtle tattoos gives you some more options if you want to make your character just a bit more yours. I don't know if these are compatible, so mix at your own risk. Once you're in game though, I have even more customization options for you. Basket of Equipment is a mod that adds literally dozens of armors to the game and makes them available through a convenient little basket you can get a hold of in the tutorial. Most mods that add armor that I've seen also place their armor in this basket or in this chest in the tutorial. There are tons of unique clothes here, and it's a great way to shake up how you look and how your companions look. A mod I highly recommend with it is Basket of Equipment to Camp Clothing. This mod takes those previously discussed armors and turns them into camp clothing so you don't throw off your game balance at all. Simply wear the armor you find or buy in the game and use the camp clothing as a vanity slot to wear over the top. I used this method and the mod's series clothes for my current playthrough, and I'm a huge fan of how it turned out. There's also a scarred female heads mod that allows you to get series scar as well as Ayla from Skyrim. But I wasn't aware of this mod when I made my character, so rest in peace. Some more cool outfits are modular equipment, fairly self-explanatory, and Noble Trickster's garments, a cool custom armor. There's not a ton of options here for outfits, but the basket is almost certain to have something you'll like. The other biggest mod is Val's shiny stuff. I guess this mod was broken because the mod author set it to hidden, so rip this one. If you want a different, more D&D style of customization, consider Dice Set Expansion. This gives you a variety of different dice to pick from, and optionally, there's even a separate download for a template that lets you make your own dice for use in all of your critical fails. I was gonna do it myself, but that's a lot of images to edit. The ones here are cool though, highly recommend this one. They fit the vanilla game like a glove. And one more to close us out. Since I've been playing on Tactician, I've had many fights take a lot of attempts, and getting to the end of a fight, losing, and realizing you haven't saved in 40 minutes is soul-crushing. Lifesaver autosaves when you enter combat. Easy peasy quality of life. Just kidding, I didn't bring up the best mod yet. Asterian Joker. Why so flamboyant? I don't need to explain this one, and I don't really know how the details work, but I played co-op with a friend and he was able to see it in his game.
I see. What the heck? I don't even have the mod installed.
So I recommend installing it for the troll value alone. This game's going crazy, and I'm glad the community is working to make it even better. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to my channel members. This is what I spent your money on. Love you all, be safe, have fun, and as always, subscribe to my fucking YouTube